Well, curiouser and curiouser, buddy. The season, I don't know. It was really amazing to watch the finish of that game. I think the nation was left kind of shaking their heads, trying to figure out how you end up with a timeout in your hip pocket and no field goal attempt or no ability to score at the end of the game. It erased a furious comeback. You guys came back. It was a great second half. I think everybody thought you had a look at it, and unfortunately, the fallout from the 6-game losing streak is also that Matt Eberflus is fired. Take us into your thought process. What did you think there was going to be a change of coach? Did you expect that? Did that take you by surprise? What are your thoughts?
No, as the season was going, you just kind of figured that was going to happen. And then not Sunday, Thursday at the end of the game was the last straw, I feel like. And they did it, and now we got TB as the interim head coach, and we're going to go out there and play for him.
When you say it's the last straw, I think that everyone could sense the players' frustration based on the comments leading up to and through Thursday's game. There was a report, DJ, in The Athletic that Jalen Johnson, quote, went crazy post-game in the locker room and challenged Matt Eberflus. I just wondered if you could confirm that happened and what happened in that locker room post-game, and did anybody else stand up and be heard?
I can't confirm it because I wasn't in there. So, but I heard some of the things that may have transpired, and I mean, we're here now.
Were you in the training room, or were you just not in the locker room? I don't understand where you were.
I was just in the training room getting looked at.
Okay.
Yeah, I got to tell you, all the reports that came out, I'm sure the frustration was bubbling over with everyone. And, losing 6 straight games in the fashion in which it did, and we've gone over it, that was the most horrific one. I mean, that was the giant blunder of all blunders at the end of a game, especially in the midst of a 6-game losing streak.
Yeah, it was a crazy game, especially when it came down to the end, and we had a timeout, and I think we had about 30 seconds left, and we just was on the ball, just trying to figure out what we was about to do. So that was I feel we could have just took the timeout and regrouped it and got 2 plays off if that was the case.
So, DJ, you're a veteran. What should have happened in those final 32 seconds? Should the sideline, your head coach, stepped up after the sack and said timeout? Should the quarterback had the presence of mind to call the timeout himself? In your view, what should have happened?
My view, I feel like the coaches gotta call timeout and like I said, regroup us especially for how we was playing and towards the later end of the game, and go out there for a chance to win.
It's amazing. It's like everyone in my house, we were, getting ready for the holiday. Everybody's screaming timeout. There were 15 people calling timeout in my home. I can't imagine what the huddle was like. Did everybody? You're kind of coming back up the field. You're kind of trying to figure out. And I really thought that Matt Eberflus let himself down in the postgame when he basically put it on Caleb. Whether he meant to or not, he basically put it on the quarterback for not calling timeout.
Yeah, I didn't see that part or hear about it, but that I mean, to each his own. I feel like he should have called timeout over Caleb. He was already processing a lot that game. To even have us in that situation, kudos to him, and to not put that pressure of having to call that timeout on him in the midst of everything when he's getting us the call at the line of scrimmage. So that's kind of tough.
So, DJ, on the way back from Detroit, amongst players, what was the sense about what was about to happen, or maybe what you guys felt should happen, and how did you find out ultimately that Matt Eberflus was fired?
I think on the bus ride, nobody really said anything because we kind of figured like nobody has been fired from the Bears mid-season.
Right.
So it's like, all right, we're just gonna stick it out and go through with it. And then the next day, I believe he got fired. He got fired the next day. He did his press conference, and then Holmes gave me a call and told me what happened.
Yeah, it was super weird is that they did a Zoom press conference in the morning, and for some reason, no one stopped that. And so he's being asked about whether he's keeping his job, and he said, yeah, I'm getting ready for San Francisco. And then, 2 hours later, he's fired. And it was just like, why didn't they just pause why not just do the press guy? Hey, we're going to cancel it for now. We'll do it later in the day. I don't understand the timing of it. I don't care about the timing of it. I think ultimately they did what they had to do, but it was just weird the way they did it. But there's been a lot of weird stuff this year.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. At the end of the day, he's not here no more, and we all got to respect the top's decision on what they did.
You're a captain, and you're here for the long haul. When Ryan Poles called you, as you said, to tell you that he had fired Matt Eberflus, what did he say, and how did he explain it? And did you think that it was the right thing to do?
He just basically told me that what had already got out in the media before he even called me, but he was just going to get this thing turned around, and a leader of men going to be in here for the next coach.
Is what's Thomas Brown like? What kind of head coach will he be? We talked about it a little bit. The guy comes in as the passing game coordinator, and then he's promoted to the head coach. And, Caleb kind of had a rebirth of sorts. They've gotten you the ball quite a bit since he's taken over. I think you had 7 catches in two games, and then you had, I want to say, 8 catches for 97 yards and a touchdown in that game. But I think you were targeted like 16 times. I mean, it was great that they started getting the ball to you. You must like him for that.
Yeah, he's just a great leader. He brings the juice every day. He gets everybody going. His energy is really felt between everybody in the locker room, offense, defense, and special teams. So I'm looking forward to see how he leads the team these last few weeks and go from there.
This segment with DJ Moore is sponsored by Plumbers 911. Plumbing emergency. Call the plumbing professionals, available 24/7 at 1-833-PLUM-911. So, DJ, when Shane Waldron was fired, it came out that maybe players thought he was too nice. When you look at Matt Eberflus being fired, when you assess what was his greatest shortcoming, what do you think that was something that he failed to do and that ultimately lost him his job?
I'm really trying to still process that. You got Shane that was being too nice, but you really can't pinpoint a certain thing that caused him to get fired. It could be multiple reasons, or it can just be one single reason. I really haven't put my mind around it.
Mm-hmm.
One of the reasons it was given on television, I think it was Matt Ryan, the former quarterback in Atlanta, who played with Ryan Poles in college, and they're good buddies. But he named 3 reasons. Obviously the losing but he said the accountability issue after the games. That's what kind of signaled the end of the line for the guy, that he didn't just come out and say, oh, I blew it, I should never. He said he liked the position you guys were in, and that, kind of explained why he didn't call the timeout, but didn't acknowledge that he had made a mistake by doing so. We heard that. He was proud of you guys after one of the terrible losses. He was kind of describing the Hail Mary, the Fail Mary, whatever, the defense on that, and didn't didn't seem to take culpability, and then he started taking the blame for anything. I mean, it was just a weird sort of dynamic with all the losses in a row. Was there an accountability issue in your mind?
A few times you can say that, but I mean, we still got to go out there and execute and do the things that we do. But if it falls down on us, we take accountability. If it falls down on the coaches, they should take accountability. So, I mean, it's give or take. If they see that he wasn't taking accountability, then that's what it is.
So, DJ, you've been in Chicago long enough to know what the Bears mean to the city and the fan base, which I think makes the fact that we have yet to hear from the general manager who fired the Bears head coach, the team president who was behind it as well, and Kevin Warren. When they speak, whenever they speak, whether it's to just the players and the team or maybe it's to the Bears media at a press conference, what do you need to hear? What do you want to hear about the direction of this football franchise?
Like I said, they already said they're looking for a leader of men, and that's going to get this team turned around and winning like we're supposed to, and not having games come down to the wire or us playing from behind and winning. I mean, playing from behind and winning is amazing too, but you always want to be up the whole game.
I'm curious, you know, we were talking about the improvement of the quarterback, the improvement of the offense since the change at coordinator. Just wondering, have you wrapped your mind around the idea that now, presumably, the offensive coordinator will be on the sidelines, that he will lose whatever vision of the game he had from the press box because the head coach kind of has to be on the sideline and he'll have a different perspective on what he's looking at. Does that matter in your mind, DJ? Do you think that's a wise idea, or does it not matter?
I don't think it matters because he played in the NFL. He played the game of football for a long time, so I know his view of the game and from up top may be different, but him calling the game shouldn't be different. So I don't think that's going to be different.
I know you said you were not in the locker room when Jalen Johnson went off after the game. I just wondered if you could characterize that as unusual for a player to be that vocal after a loss in your experience as an NFL player, and how much you think that might have compelled Ryan Poles and Kevin Warren to do what they did.
It's not uncommon for a vet to go off. I mean, I've seen plenty of vets go off. Like I said, I don't know all the details behind what Jalen was saying because I couldn't even barely make out what he was saying from the training room. But he was vocal. He's been vocal all year on different topics, good or bad. And he just stepped up and be a leader. After that game, he felt like we should have won, and he said what he said.
You know, I'm just curious when you think about what they've announced here, that Kevin Warren is going to be basically the guy that picks the next head coach with an assist from Poles, Ryan Poles. How well do you know Kevin Warren? How omnipresent is he? You know, this is the first time the Bears have fired a coach in season, and it's also the first time he's the team president. So, I mean, is his influence strong enough that he's kind of making the call on that? What is your take on Kevin Warren, and what is your relationship with him like?
He definitely have a good relationship. I know Mr. Warren is really wanting to change the way that the Bears are looked at. We need to be winners. Have a unique stadium coming soon. I know he wants to just build it up and to be one of the better teams in the NFL. So I don't think he'll fall short of picking the right head coach along with Ryan. So it should be good.
Our Brad Biggs reporting that Kevin Warren and Ryan Poles will meet reporters today at 11:45, and Thomas Brown will follow at 12:15. Just curious, DJ, are you curious about how they present themselves and how they articulate the vision for the rest of the season and maybe what they're looking for in the next head coach? Even though they have said what they said to you, are you curious about how they'll present it publicly?
No, not really. As long as they tell us what the game plan is, and we just got to go out there and play right now, and then just leave all the decisions up to them. If they ask for any of the leaders' input, and so be it. But after this, it's just all on them.
What is your input? What do you want to see in the next head coach? Do you think you deserve a say in that? Do you expect them to kind of check in with you, or are you just as curious as we are?
I mean, just to start out, I'd be just as curious as everybody else. But if I get called in or called to see about certain things, I mean, I gladly do it. But whoever it's going to be their choice at the end of the day, and we're just going to have to stand by and play hard for the coach.
With 5 games left, DJ, the chemistry with Caleb Williams still seems to be maybe hit or miss sometimes. I know he has had a pretty good run the last couple games, and certainly the second half against the Lions was encouraging. From your standpoint, though, how would you describe where your rapport is with Caleb and how maybe it can improve over the final 5 games?
Our rapport is pretty good. I know we started off rocky, but now we made things to where it's easier for us to have a rapport and be on the same page. So it should still be on the ups.
Will you attend that news conference? Are you guys doing stuff? I mean, would you like to watch and see what Poles and Warren have to say?
I might watch a little bit, but not too much because we still gotta finish the season out, and then we could focus on that.
DJ, when Ryan Poles says to you, they're looking for a leader of men, we're going to hear that again today. We talk about it all the time on the radio. When you hear leader of men, what images come to your mind as far as examples who might be guys you played for in the past, or what characteristics you're looking for in a coach?
Let me see. Just accountability, being stern, understanding their mindset, delivering the vision to everybody in the room, just so that we can see the same thing that they're seeing.
DJ, from your experience, do you think, I mean, Caleb Williams is only 23 years old, but do you think that he should have a say, or, he needs to be talked to about what he needs in a coach? Do you need to be talked to about what you need in a coach? Does the whole kind of hierarchy, or is that a decision outside of players' purview?
Like I said, they can ask us what we like and what we don't like, who we like and who we don't like. But at the end of the day, it's going to come down to how they feel and who will be the next head coach. And then we just got to build a rapport, relationship with the new head coach or whoever comes in here. So, I mean, that's the best way to go about it.
I have to ask you before we let you go quickly, what was the difference in the second half? Why did you guys play so much better after halftime?
I don't know. I was still questioning that thing too, but I think it's because we just got settled and we just was ready to go. We was like, man, the defense is playing good. They only keeping them to a certain amount of points, and we just got to score one more point than they did, because I think they had like 23 points for the whole game, and then we just went out there, did our best in the second half, and then we came up short like we did at the end of the game.
How you feeling physically? You okay?
Yeah, I'm doing well.
Okay. All right, buddy. Enjoy the mini. Well, it's over now.
Best of luck this week, DJ.
Weekend.
And thank you for being candid with us this morning.
Appreciate it, buddy.
Yeah, no